So good to be with you on a Saturday Arvo. So good to be with Nathan Hindmarsh, Wade Graham, Brent Read. My name's Tony Squires. Look, Reedy, I should just point out from the off, obviously, the State of Origin result. This is a safe place for you.
Oh, I'm sure it is,
over the next 3 hours.
I'm sure you blokes go easy on me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
To support you as much as we can.
It's only one game, boys. Don't forget.
Yes, mate,
this is when we're at our most dangerous. 1-0 down, backs to the wall, underdog.
This is exactly where you want to be.
This is the plan. This was Billy's plan all along.
How was it for you in beautiful Brisbane?
I didn't go up, Tone. I watched it at home. So I was pretty miserable. I watched it in the garage on my own. My son came down the second half. My youngest one, I said, no, leave me alone, go upstairs. I'm working. And I just sat there in my own misery.
Is he born in New South Wales?
Father-son rule, Tony. They're both my boys are Queenslanders. Father-son rule.
No.
I played for Queensland, foot soccer, so it's father-son rule.
Foot soccer.
Foot soccer, yeah. Soccer. So it's a father-son rule. They qualify. They're Queenslanders.
They're not Queenslanders.
They are.
In what form are they Queenslanders?
Lambie's in Queensland, didn't you know? Right beside Maxville and sort of other places.
Steve Rogers played for New South Wales, and Matty Rogers was born on the Gold Coast and played for Queensland. So
that was before the father-son rule came into effect.
But if you speak to Matty Rogers, he wanted to play for Queensland because he felt like he was a Queenslander.
My kids feel like they're Queenslanders.
Yeah, well,
we brought them up to feel that way.
Have they been there?
We go there every year, every Christmas.
What you didn't teach him the read or what? I mean, what do you...
That's kicking a bloke while he's down, Tone.
Sorry,
really?
Safe place.
Safe place, you said.
Absolutely
doesn't
safe
feel
place.
like it.
I didn't realise
feels like
that
I'm
this
going to
was...
have darts thrown at me all day.
I just didn't realise you'd done this to your children.
What have you been done this? They're honoured. They should feel fortunate.
But I didn't like the fact that you've turned him away.
Yeah.
Like, don't they have to deal with that sort of loss? Like, face it like a man
He watched
sort
it with
of
his
thing?
mum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who is a Queenslander.
So you were sulking.
Yeah.
You weren't working.
I was working, yeah.
Oh,
I was.
Okay, well, technically you were working.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's your job. But not to sit there, not to embrace your son and say, mate, don't worry, we'll get out of this sort of thing.
He came
like
down.
Like the Queensland
this is
spirit
where
we hear about this Queensland spirit all the time. But no, I've got the sulks. Go, I don't want to see you.
He came down on my lower step. I said, no.
You should have grabbed your son. You should have embraced him.
Drawn him to you.
Yeah, you stuck him under your bosom and just gone, mate, this is what we're all about. You know, yes, we've lost this one, but we'll be back.
Under your bosom.
Yeah.
There's some man boobs we're talking about.
He's talking about
It's
himself.
just ripping in, isn't it? Just gets worse.
When you get to 45, they do tend to. I feel like I've just had a litter of pups. That's how much weight I've put on lately.
What, you got 8 nipples as well, which is just amazing.
I'm bulking up. I don't know what it is.
What you don't know what it is? You just spent the last 10 minutes looking for Tim Tams out the front before you came in studio. Maybe just cut back on the snacking, brother.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, what have you brought into snack here? That looks very healthy. Is that yours, Wado?
They're mine. They're mine. They're raspberries.
Okay.
They're good for something, apparently.
Yeah.
He's looking for them to put it like the Tim Tams to put the raspberries on top of the Tim Tams
Yeah.
just to make it
So
Or ice
a little bit
cream or
healthy.
something.
they don't sell chocolate coated raspberries anywhere. I had a look at that.
Painful evening for Reedy and his children who are somehow Queensland State of Origin fans. I don't know how, born in New South Wales, lived all their lives in New South Wales. But still, 18-6 was the result. They go 1-0 up in this best-of-3 series, heading to Perth, somewhere where they've been incredibly successful. Payne Haas was named man of the match, as we said earlier. This is coming into limited preparation with that quad injury, and what an athlete he is.
Oh, he's incredible. And we've seen that for a number of years now. And I think he gets a real benefit playing in that Blues outfit where, you know, at the Broncos, he's basically the primary carrier that creates the momentum. When he plays at Origin, he can run off the back of already generated momentum. Now, it's a simple game plan again. Everyone knows how Blues play. Queensland know how we play as well. It's through the front door. Starts with Edwards or Lomax. They carry. Then the other centre, maybe Latrell or Crichton, they carry, generate more quick play of the balls. The back five start the sets, and then Payne's able to get that play 4 carry once the set's already started. So he's running at a defensive line. Some of the times it's not moving up, and you know the best times they're still retreating. So he looks so good when he moves. He doesn't go always straight north-south. Sometimes with his mobility, he can get across the field. He can really get it the back rolls and the halves and crossover bodies, which he's hard to handle, the athlete that he is. But again, like the New South Wales team is just really balanced. They're clear in how they want to play, and you can go through the whole team. If it's not Haas, you got to deal with. It's Barnett or Isaiah Yeo. If Haas goes off, you've got to deal with Spencer Leniu. If they're fatigued, well then Angus Crichton or Liam Martin, and all the way down the back line to Dylan Edwards, who almost breaks a tackle every time he brings the ball back. They're crystal clear with how they want to play, and Queensland have got some work to do to try and halt that momentum.
Well, they didn't have a bad player. I mean, every player in the New South Wales side was at least a 7 out of 10. Whilst you'd be hard placed to find a Queensland player who was 7 out of 10. So they got to find a way to stop Payne. I don't know how you do it. I saw Gordy talking about it on 360 on Thursday night when I was on Thursday night, saying you've got to get a marker and
it's the only way to do it.
Stop him before they get some momentum up. But it's so hard when you've got Isaiah Yeo punching holes through you. And as you said, Lomax, Toto, I mean, it's so difficult. But that's what they've got to get their head around. And as I said, Billy, this is why Billy's a coach. He's got to work it out.
So the thing as well, like Queensland won't be as bad. And you can look at their errors in their discipline, right, which alleviate New South Wales out of their own half. It puts them in good field position, but it actually doesn't suit New South Wales, that stop-starting game. The New South Wales want it to be a high live ball, continuous game, because then when you have those sets when you get lots of meters and build momentum, you actually have more of an effect on the defensive line. Other guys get stuck in the tackle, laying on the ground, you get late retreat, and that's really when Nathan Cleary and more so Mitch Moses can come into the game, because off those rucks where they recognise there's a player out of play, there's none better really in the competition than Mitch at getting over the ad line, putting pressure on the defensive line and creating space for his outside men. And really he's on the left predominantly for this series. So you don't even need to create much space for Latrell. You just need half a one-on-one, give him half a step on his setter and he can create. Now that they didn't really get much opportunity of that at Suncorp because of the nature of the game. So Queensland will want to clean up that area and not give away penalties and not give away errors. Like you give up possession. But if it goes set for set and end to end, the term you call it now is live ball. The longer the live periods are where the ball's in play, it actually suits New South Wales even more. And then
do you think it does?
I think it does. I think
that sort of. I was kind of leaning towards that Queensland's more style of play, the live play with the the continuous sets, the lack of stopping. Because I think that's what their forward pack. They're toilers. They play big minutes. They get through a lot of work. I'm going to say semi-one pace. There's no real explosion about them. So I think that's what their game plan kind of should be. But the amount of stopping and starting, I thought, played into New South Wales' hands with a bit more of their power game.
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
I love this.
Yeah.
New South Wales from fighting after a victory. This is gold.
Yeah. Well, no, we're having a constructive conversation.
Yeah. Sounds like a blue to me.
A Blues win.
You are desperate. Isaiah Yeo had a bit different. Usually he dips into the line, ball player as well, but he was just running machine, wasn't he?
Did you notice him out there? To be honest with you, I didn't notice Isaiah Yeo out there. Like, not being disrespectful, but I was looking at other places, I think. I don't know. Payne Haas, I was looking at the halves, and Isaiah Yeo just went about his business. I think because we're so used to seeing him do so much work and do all that, the passing out the back, I didn't really notice him. But
he's so he is so strong.
But he had an awesome game.
Yeah.
He's got three blokes draped off him. He just keeps those legs moving. I mean, he made such an impact as well. I mean, Payne was so good, right, that it sort of overshadowed him to an extent. But I thought he was amazing for this. He's such. I don't want to say an underrated player because everyone knows how good he is, right? But it feels like he's a little underrated at times.
That's what I meant. I'm not saying when I said I didn't notice him. He had an awesome game. I just was.
Well, that's the thing about him, right? I mean, you look at the stats. He's run for 120 metres, and you go, man, I didn't notice that.
You notice Zach Lomax, though, don't you? He makes you notice.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit 200 metres running game as well.
And Toto as well.
Yeah.
And he ran for a bucket load and he had 10 minutes in the bin.
But that's the balance of their team, right? And that's why it's so effective because the middles and the edge don't need to rush back behind the ball because those guys are going to bring the ball back to them and not just bring it back to it. They're going to generate some momentum and they can run off the back of that. So, I hear what you're saying about the set starts and that hindy, but I feel like if it goes long periods of time with their carries, New South Wales, and because Queensland is small and mobile, the New South Wales carries get harder to handle. They'll get
Well, you could see that. You could see that early in that first half. That Queensland forward pack, their legs were gone. They were buggered.
I'm keen to hear Reedy's thoughts on the kickoff situation.
Oh, Spencer
when Queensland ducked him.
Yeah, didn't they shit
Yeah.
themselves?
Because I get the logic behind it.
Yeah.
And I get maybe the tactical reasons behind it. But for me, and this might sound heavy, but I've been thinking about it a lot. I think it's one of the weakest players in Origin history.
I concur.
Wow. What do you want me to say? You want me to stick up for him? I understand why they wouldn't do it, because obviously, Spencer was fired up in that moment. He was whooping and hollering at the crowd before the game, even before he was on the field.
Well,
then
that may be something to do with the Courier Mail's front
Colin
page.
McGrubb, so I understand why they went the other way, because, I mean, obviously, if you've got an option of Spencer Leniu and Max King, no disrespect to Max King, you're probably going to kick it to Max, right? But I also acknowledge that in that moment you could have made a statement, and they chose not to make the statement.
That's the thing that I'm.
And I'm sure in hindsight,
I reckon in hindsight, I just I know the narrative. Like New South Wales, they just don't get Origin.
Why give them what they want? Why give New South Wales what they want? Why give Spencer what he wants?
But
why?
Why not? At least have a crack at him, fall on your sword.
Well, you're still getting him on the next. You're still going to take the next hit up. You're still going to crack at him.
No. You just avoided the confrontation. You avoided the conflict. Yes, you did. Queensland's the people's team. They represent everyone from Queensland. There was an opportunity. He's been taking pieces of you.
Yeah.
He's been over time. He's had a shot at JT. The Courier Mail comes out. Public enemy number one. Yeah. There's an opportunity. It's 13 in that kick chase to kick the one bloke. And like that moment when they go to Spencer on the camera and
why are you enjoying this so much?
Reedy, don't shy away. The moment they go to Spencer and he blows up, that's as iconic as the Wally Lewis MG moment. Alfie coming back, Joey return, because that's the moment one guy in a blue jersey made a whole state flinch. Right? Does it win the series? Is it defining? Probably not. Can Queensland still come back? Of course they can. We've seen it before in the past. But I don't think one guy has ever made a whole team flinch, including the coaching staff, and say, you know what? Instead of that confrontation and collision, we're going to kick away from him.
Have we actually heard any Queenslanders address? I can't remember if we've heard any Queenslanders address this
Answer the question.
No, none, including you.
Including me.
Well said, Wado. Well said. Yeah.
Epic spray.
I don't know why I'm on the end of it. But I understand that they had the chance to make a statement. They didn't do it. I'm sure in hindsight, when they look back at it and they review that game, they'll go, yeah, we probably should have kicked it. It was weak.
At least
it was weak.
Take the collision on, and you know what? You might come off second best. That is his best carry. But fall on your sword, like this guy. He's been India. Like
so when we used to kick off to Webke, we didn't want to, but we knew he was their go-to man.
Well, that's the thing too. Like always this Queensland narrative, like Queensland spirit. Like what would have Shane Webke done in that situation? Yeah. What would have Petro done?
He was on Triple M. Why don't you ask him?
Alfie Langer would have went down there and had a crack at tackling. Like, come on, man.
Okay. Who do you hold? Who's responsible for that? That's
everyone.
The players, the coach. I mean, I don't think they would have made a conscious decision, would they?
No, of course they did.
No, I'm saying before the game. You think they would have said, don't kick it to Spencer if you get the chance? I don't think so.
I'd imagine they would have. Like, why would they do that otherwise? Just the players on the field. I think it's a plan. I think they would have spoke about it as a tactic and logically.
Don't give him what he wants.
Take away his best carry. But someone in that team, I think, she went, no, kick it to him. Let me take a piece of it.
Do you think that's a narrative that changes based on how the game's played? So at that point they're losing. They need some momentum. They need to do something.
No.
So maybe
it's an opportunity.
So in that case, you kick it to him. But I'm saying if they're in front at that point, you kick it away from him. No one cares.
I think
but it's because they're losing, right?
I think in clubland it's perfectly acceptable. I think you do that as in terms of game plan. But I think at that level, like you just kick it to him and get down there and try and make a statement. I don't like going away from him, avoiding the conflict, avoiding the confrontation. I think Spencer won that battle mentally and. Good on you, Spencer.
Put the shoe on the other foot. Liam Martin, what do you think he would have been crying out for?
He would have said kick it to him.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Probably.
Thank you.
That is that's a helicopter moment.
Anyway,
we have to leave that conversation right now.